Hi, I'm Creason.
And I'm Cynthia.
And this is Random Spirit, where we talk about random topics. What are we talking about today, Cynthia?
Part 2 on Encanto. Part motherfucking 2.
Okay.
We're just gonna go dive right into this.
All right, then.
So we left off with Camilo, the people pleaser.
Yeah.
And now we will be speaking on Antonio, which is like the little
youngest.
He's the youngest, and he is the last child of Pepa and Felix.
Correct.
And you're gonna hear my kid in the background. Not sorry.
Yeah.
But so Antonio has the gift of speaking to animals.
Correct.
And he's connected to animals.
Correct.
How would you
So Antonio's an interesting case because he is the person that does not know about the trauma but is trying to understand the trauma. He
Really?
knows that something happened to Mirabelle. He knows that she's not being accepted. He doesn't necessarily understand it, but he's going to do whatever he can to help. Mm-hmm. Literally, he's the one on the outside kind of looking in.
He's the sweetest little soul.
Yeah.
He is so
It sucks
pure.
because, the one thing I like about Antonio, he had such a little thing in the movie, but the one thing I liked is that, everyone tried to push him up once he got his gift.
Yeah.
But he still looked out for Mirabelle at the end of the day.
Yeah.
To make sure she was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mirabelle pretty much rose him.
Yeah.
In the nursery, I'm pretty sure. And, he literally sits there and understands,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
what's going on.
That's literally his whole role.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. And so after that, we get into Julieta's kids.
Yeah, which is going to be the more harder one. You didn't have anything to say on Antonio, did you?
No, just the fact that, it's really interesting. I guess, he can keep secrets, or he kind of knows, and he knows because, at the point where Mirabel finds Bruno, he says, the rat spoke to him, So, it's he knows. Mm-hmm. But then it's also sad that he knows to keep his mouth shut and to, not say anything. Because he sees his older sister,
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. Is that it on Antonio?
I think that we've covered
I don't want to, bag him on, a character, but he's the young one, and he's,
Yeah, he's the one who's trying to figure things out.
Yeah, he's trying to figure things out. And he's just so pure and innocent and just full of love.
Exactly.
So are we going to go... We're going to do oldest to youngest for Pepa's kids?
And Julieta's kids. Actually, it's Julieta's kids that we're on.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. We had already done Pepa's kids. Now we're getting into Julieta's kids. And... Creason, you can go and talk about Isabella because there's something about that girl.
All right, so Isabella pisses my friend off because she's the perfect one. She's the one that has the most expectations put upon her for, carrying on the legacy because she's the only
she's
character.
She's the least one that I can understand. I don't understand her.
So, in terms of image, basically inside the family of the Madrigals, she's the one that's gonna get married to somebody else to continue the legacy.
Yes.
She's the only member of the family that's actually looking, of the younger kids, that has a love interest that's gonna go ahead and get married. It's very important to Abuela that this thing goes perfect because for her, it's the next legacy. These are her great-grandchildren that she's talking about that's gonna complete the legacy, and she knows that, or at least Abuela knows that whatever, Julieta's daughter does, which is Isabella does, is going to be an image on the rest of the family. So she puts tremendous pressure on Isabella to continue that name, just like her mother did before her. So, trauma and what being the golden child means. So, I understand this from my perspective because I'm the oldest in my family, and I get what it is. Pretty much... your parents failed somewhere and there's an imprint that they throw upon you upon their failures.
Yeah.
My dad feels that, like his thing is he was poor and he doesn't want people to be poor anymore. My mom's thing is that, basically everyone put everything on top of her. So therefore she wants to go ahead and live inside a world of where things are not put on top of the other children. However, that projection of what they were when they were smaller ends up imprinting on the oldest, which is my dad doesn't want anybody to be poor, but then he'll cuss people out for that. And my mom doesn't want people to go ahead and live a life of getting being told what to do, but she imprints that on top of it. Now, the person that they check against is the oldest. They judge their entire parenting off of the fact of if the oldest is doing what they said the oldest is supposed to do. If the oldest screws up, they get down the oldest the most. Because they're like, oh, you're ruining the thing. Everyone looks up to you. Why are you screwing up the name? Blah, 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 blah. You did this wrong. You're not supposed to do this wrong. You eat it. And it's interesting because not only do you eat it, but let's say it's your brother's made a mistake and you were there and you didn't go ahead and do anything about it. They also come down on you because of that. Oh.
So they come down on you for not doing their job?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Make it make sense because it doesn't make sense. It's what I like to say.
The golden child trauma is the fact that you lose your sense of being a person. You're not yourself because you're so busy trying to be their image instead of your own image. That's what the trauma of the golden child is.
So being a golden child, in your sense, I think I asked you this before, but did you look up to anyone?
No, you don't have time for that. Being the golden child means that you have to go ahead and hold your image up. You don't have time to go.
Looked up to.
You don't have time to worry about your own image.
Yeah.
This is why Isabella puts up her front. Her front is, I need to do this perfect thing because everyone else is looking at me, which is why she's looking for perfection all the time. The flowers that she makes are all perfect. Everything that she does is perfect because she's expected to be perfect.
Yes.
She doesn't have time to think about herself, about anything when it comes to herself, about what she wants, because she's so busy worried about the image, worried about what Abuela wants. That's where her mindset is. Yeah. So how she treats other people disappears. It disappears. Yeah. It doesn't matter because she's too busy and preoccupied on family image. So why is the golden child trauma difficult?
That's a lot of responsibility for a child, is what it is.
Yes. And parents do this without even noticing. Do you know why? Because they realized that they couldn't do it inside their own specific lives. So
it's probably the parents trying to live through the older sibling.
Yeah. And they also don't want to be looking bad in terms of society either because
oh, hell no.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, exactly. Because are you calling me a liar? You know that phrase?
Yeah.
They're lying.
Usually, if the first child, screws up,
the
parents really feel that they failed. They can't have the first child screw up because that's the one that they have the most time with.
Yeah.
So that's why everything I feel falls. Because if the first child is it F's up or is a fuck up, it makes them look extremely bad to the outside world. Because it's oh wow, you had the most time with this child. What the hell happened?
It's the whole keeping up the image, right?
Yes. Yes, the expectation of the image is what's being kept up. And they throw a lot of hammer down on the first child. Not only to be the example for everyone else, but also to go ahead and knock their image out to the world. Oh, you see my son or my daughter who's first.
And then keep that up.
They're
and
this
flaunt
and
your
that,
shit.
That's the person that they look to. If that person goes wayward, then then they become the lost sheep to them.
Kind of because it's so funny, in the movie, towards the end, Mirabel is told to embrace Isabela. And it's kind of she pushes her buttons and, Isabela just, breaks up. And, what is it that she said? That, it's difficult. No, she she says she doesn't even want to marry Mariano or something, right?
Yeah.
And she kind of cracks it, and then Mirabel is like, wait, what?
Yeah, like, the thing about it is that, like, you know, you talk about trauma and, like, you know, younger siblings not understanding older siblings. Like, that's the thing. It's the older siblings' mindset.
Yeah.
Usually, by the time that the older siblings have a chance to go in and think about themselves, it's when they're older.
Yeah.
And they start thinking about the lost time that they had not thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they are like, man, I had all this responsibility. I had all this stuff to do. I want to do me now. So when they get older, when a lot of older siblings get older, that's when they break out and they're like, you know, I'm going to do me now. I'm not going to care about other people.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody inside their past lives, this includes younger siblings, family members and stuff, they just stop giving a crap. Because they're like, I spent all my life giving a crap.
Yeah.
Why am I going to continue to give a crap now? You know?
Well, the funny thing, like, is once that happened, and then, you know, towards the end, how, like, the abuela's telling Mirabel, look what you're doing, like, Isabella's, like, you know, all over the place, and, like, what's that word that she used, that she was?
What, Isabella? Or?
Yeah, that she was... She says something, I can't think of it, like, on the top of my head right now, but she says something along the lines of, like, you know, she's out of control.
Oh yeah, that's right.
that she's out of control, and it's because, you know, she's creating different types of, it's not even just flowers, it's plants.
Yeah.
Right? Cactuses. And that's just, like, you know, like, wow. Like, wow.
Yeah. So Isabella's trauma is...
She can't be herself.
She can't be herself because
she's
she's too busy trying to go in and hold up an image that is not hers.
That is so sad.
That's Isabella's whole story. And how she deals with it? Well, when Mirabel came in and started to rupture stuff, you know, like, that's when Isabella felt like she was personally attacked.
because of the fact that Mirabel came into her room and was, you know, like, that relationship wasn't good to begin with.
Yeah.
And that's just, like, really sad because, like, they don't understand each other or anything. But at the end, it's so crazy how, like, Mirabel still had Isabella's back.
Yeah.
And, like, then, you know, it's funny because that's what had to happen. They had to, like, Isabella had to, I wouldn't say rebel, but in Abuela's eyes, rebel for the house to crumble, and then for Abuela to be vulnerable, which to this day, I still don't know how that woman was vulnerable, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's all Isabella. And
correct. All right. So, yeah, but that covers the trauma of Isabella for me.
The perfect child.
Yeah. So, Luisa is the second of those siblings.
She's the middle child.
She's the middle child. Kind of like Dolores. Dolores is deflecting. Luisa kind of throws everything into work. Like, her worth is built by what she's able to do. That's why, like, she's the strong one, like, I would say mentally, but she's also the strong one physically, which means that she delves herself outside her work, does the work because she knows that she applies that to her work. And if she can't, that's what affects her, and that's what causes her to drive out her emotions.
Because with her, you have to see it. She is the one doing the help.
Yeah.
So when you have someone kind of relate, when doing the help, like, and then they're falling apart and they're getting weak, which she does get weak in the movie, and it's like, she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know where to go. Like, are you gonna sit here and really like bag on someone that doesn't ask for help?
Yeah, that's
because
true.
You know, you sit here and you ask for help, and so in Abuela's eyes or in our parents' eyes, what is that? Because if you sit here and, like, you physically or you actually verbally ask for help and nothing's done.
Yeah, there is the thing about, like, Luisa that, you know, she has a lot of temperance that I do on my daily, of where, you know, I'm the one who feels that I can do my work the best, and it's a bit of perfectionism, but it's also a bit of, like, you know, like, Louisa seriously can do stuff that nobody else inside her village can do.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel that, in her case,
yes,
why it's so difficult. Because she has stuff that, will be impossible for her to ask for help. Like,
exactly.
take all those donkeys to the barn and kick over a church or whatever and, like, reroute rivers. Like,
well, yeah, but I feel like in that case, it's still nice to, like, it's don't beat yourself up for not being able to do it and, like, communicate and be like, yo, like, I reached my limit.
Yeah.
But see, with her, she can't do that. Why? Probably because Abuela's gonna ram her fucking ass and say, shut the fuck up and use your fucking strength.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's disgusting.
Yeah, so pretty much, Louise, inside her head, her worth is her strength.
That's sad.
That's literally how she deals with trauma. So as long as she feels that she's working, she feels that she's contributing, she doesn't have to deal with her trauma.
Dude, a lot of other people can probably relate because of the fact that I catch myself doing this too, in a sense that actual work, obviously it doesn't have to be strong, but it's the reason why people drown themselves in work,
Correct.
It's the reason why people keep busy and, like, they don't notice it, but the people on the outside can see you're spending a lot of time at work.
Correct.
You're drowning yourself at work. You're clocking in a lot of hours,
Yes.
Yeah.
It's difficult to ask for help, and Louise is the person that...
Is it difficult? So why is it difficult for you to ask for help?
Well, for me, it's always been difficult to ask for help because I was the one that everyone depended on. Like, I'm the one that everyone comes to when it comes to trying to find solutions to problems.
That's interesting.
So when it comes down to it, I feel that if I'm the one who's asking for help, that...
You're weak. Well,
it's not that I'm weak. It's that, I should have to be the one who has to figure out the solution for it because I'm always the one that has to figure out the solution for it. That's why. Like, when I say I don't know something, I feel that no one else is going to go and figure out the answer. Like, they're just going to sit on it and be like, well, I didn't know how to do this, and you didn't help me figure it out, so whatever, it's gone, it's whatever, It sucks because there's a lot of situations of where I'm feeling like, if people would just do a little bit more and not depend on me to go and do everything, it would work. But there's so much dependency on the fact that I need to know the answers that I've given up on the whole aspect of even asking for help in the first place. Like, it's not that I don't want to ask for help, it's that I just feel that people give up and don't pursue if I don't go and do it. And then they start blaming me for the fact that they didn't pursue, even though it's not even my fault. Yeah. They're making me feel like I'm feeling bad for stuff that's technically not my fault. That's literally what it is.
You shouldn't be feeling bad for that at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I find it interesting that you say that. Like, obviously, I feel like, again, a lot of people can relate to this because on my end, and this, I literally will be in front of you screaming for help, and then people will just be like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's so funny how, like, I can relate in my way that I verbally... action-wise ask for help, and then that help comes in conditions, and that helps come, like, like, I'm over here going the 10 miles while the receiving, or like the person giving that, like, I should not have to walk 10 miles for you to give me help. That's my end, and that's my issue. I just find it interesting how, like, you can relate to it on, like, different angles. Because I, have noticed with you too that it's so funny because I feel like anything, spiritual, and, like, I mean, I go to you for a lot of advice. Yeah. I do. But I find it funny because I find, like, I sit there and find you sometimes, like, I can pick up and sense what you ask, but there's a lot of times, like, spiritually where, like, you have a way of asking without asking. And then you'll, like, question and and, like, the more intrigued you are, I'm like, Creason, do you want to know how to do this?
That's true.
But it's, like, I understand because, we have these long talks and stuff, and now I see, like, it is, like, it probably, I don't know if it makes you feel vulnerable or, like, is out of your comfort zone to sit here and ask directly because it's an issue that I have with you, but, we're not going to knock you on it, that you can't be, like, how I am, like, I need help on this.
Yeah.
I respect that, but I
No, I get you. I understand.
Wow, that was just Luisa. I love my girl Luisa though.
Yeah, Luisa is a very great character.
And she's the middle child.
She is.
Shout out to her.
I know.
I'm a middle child too.
Oh.
Creason's the perfect. I'm not the strong.
one.
No, I'm not the fucking strong one. I'm the one that's ignored.
Oh.
But
All right. So last one.
Mirabel.
Mirabel is the main character of the movie. She has a lot going around her. Basically, Mirabel is the person that wants to go ahead and do something, but all the stuff that she tries to do is like, you know, the family's just not having it. So, like, quite honestly, the thing I like about us following Mirabel's story is that, you know, she was the only one that didn't get a gift. And she's trying her best to contribute. It's kind of like, it's interesting because inside her family, she's like the person like with special needs. She's like she's like the person that like, you know, she doesn't have the abilities that everyone else has. She's so a normal person like us, but like people discount her because it's like, oh, you didn't get a gift, that means that you have a disability. That means that you can't.
In all reality,
do that.
The bitch is the gift. Like, she is the gift.
Correct.
Like, she is like, she has the answers to everything.
Correct. Like, the thing about it is that, like, you know, what I learned from her is two things.
Yeah.
One, like, just because someone has any sort of ailment does not make them, you know, less than or less of a person. And this is the thing. Like, a little thing about me is, like, I have, like, online projects that I work on. And there's people on there that have, you know, like, autism, and, like, they've been diagnosed with, like, certain things.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just shun them because they're like, oh, you know, like, they have these things or whatever, they can't do work. But I feel that that's, like, you know, a little piece of that story of not believing that people have abilities just because they don't have what everyone else has, you know? And I feel a little bit of that, but not only that, Mirabel really does love the family and really cares about it. And people think that she doesn't. You know, but especially Abuela, because Abuela's sitting around telling her, like, you know, the best way for you to help is to just go away and not be in the way.
Dude, that fucking hurts. I'm waiting on a miracle. What is it? I will move. Dude, every time, like...
Yeah, that song is really deep.
I literally just downloaded it on my phone, like, for the girls. But, like, I prevented it for the longest because of the fact that, like, a fucking Disney song... A kid Disney song is hitting me in a certain way where I want to bawl. And then Scarlett and I'm going to be like, Ma... Why you crying? Because I'm waiting on a miracle, girl. Fuck. No, but it's just so sad because, you know, like, ooh, like, you gave a little bit on you. It's kind of like, yeah, I can relate. I don't know who I relate to the most. I feel like all of us can, like, you know, they're just, like, bits and pieces that we can pick up on. But with the whole, like, you know, I just want to fit in. I can 100% relate.
Yeah, that's exactly
I just want to fit in. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to do that. Just, like, you know, see me, notice me, like, you know, love me, care for me, show me. And I will show you that I'm capable of doing it. And it's so fucking sad that you got this, you know, 15, 16-year-old girl asking and begging and singing her way through this fucking movie asking for help.
Yeah, that's true. And it's funny because, like, if you think about it, she looked past what, like, Abuela did. Like,
I know.
She heard Abuela in the window saying that there was something wrong with the miracle. And quite honestly, she's the one who decided, like, I'm going to go ahead and try to fix this. That takes a lot because Abuela didn't care.
She's a fucking bitch.
And she still went ahead and said she wanted to do it. So she's trying to go and find her place. She's trying to fit in, just like you said. Like, that's exactly what her role is. She's spending her life trying to fit in, trying to figure out what her place in this family is.
Yeah.
And having a very, very hard time doing it because her family does not understand.
They don't understand, and not only, like, her mom's not really standing up for herself or saying anything. And, you know, her her dad is like, you know how like when she was doing, you know, after the Bruno song,
Yeah.
and then like, you know, she's trying to hide.
And her dad was trying to hide it. He's like, we'll deal about this later.
He's like, shh, shh, shh. And then Dolores comes, fucking like, you know, on the other side, she goes, beep.
Yeah.
I know. But wow, dude, like,
yeah.
I love Mirabel, and she is she's the future, bro.
She is. She's the future of that family. Okay, so the final member that I'm going to speak about, I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate and try to go ahead and speak about Abuela's trauma.
And I'll attack you. Let's go.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. No, because as we were talking about that, I was just like, you know, in my mind, okay, so let's think about Abuela. She literally is, I would say, the foundation.
She is.
Of the fam.
Yeah.
She lost Abuelo.
She lost, her
like
Abuelo.
literal, the love of her life had died, okay?
Correct.
I'm gonna have a little bit of like, you know, a little sad moment because the love of her life had left her.
Correct.
I mean, not purposefully, but you know, he sacrificed himself, didn't he?
Yeah. To make sure that her and her 3 babies would live.
Yeah.
Now, you, because you're a mom, like, I mean, can you imagine having something like that happen to you?
No.
And having to continue to move on past that to try to raise, like, a fam and to keep them strong? Like,
no.
Do you see how much, like, you talk about trauma, but it's trauma plus because you not only have to get past the fact that you just lost the love of your life, you have to figure out how to raise these kids.
How to continue with life.
How to continue with life. How to raise these kids. How you're going to be strong even though all that shit's happened to you.
So are you saying that is that like an excuse, or does that give her the way she acted?
This does not give Abuela the excuse to act the way she did.
So we're just trying to understand
We're just trying to understand her trauma.
I'm just trying to understand why she was such a fucking bitch.
That's the part.
That's the part that we're never going to get, Cynthia. Understand that there are some things better left unsaid. Okay, no, look, okay? No. But yes, I can't even imagine, like, dude... I can't even imagine, like, if anything were happening to Trey, like, let's not.
Yes, exactly.
You know? That is, like, some rough shit. And, like, you know, like, she had triplets.
Correct.
You know?
She had to take care of 3 babies
and
on her own.
those babies look, like, fresh out the womb. Like, can you imagine? You know? Like, after having Bashi, I was like, but, oof. You know?
Yeah.
She... is strong. She's a very strong woman.
Correct.
I will give her that. She's very strong, and she's built like something, not only just something, a whole fucking like this is like what do you call it? Is it like a legacy?
Yes.
Of like, you know, this is where it starts.
Correct.
And it's just gonna go on and on and on and on, and that's fucking amazing.
Correct.
You know? So it would be nice, I don't know.
So yeah.
To know more about like before.
It would be, but that's probably going to be for a sequel. But I just want to say, like, you know, about Abuela, that Abuela closed herself off from the world. You know, when this thing happened to her, the Encanto,
no one was there for her.
Yes, she closed herself off because there was going to be no one to help her. She had to figure this out on her own. Yeah, the way that she felt, it was her against the world. Yeah, I have to figure this one out. Yeah, I have to go in and do this. I'm going to do this in the best way possible. Yeah. And anyone that, in her case, went against that, she thought of it as a threat. That's why when the magic was dying, she was like, oh my gosh, like, what's going on? I've been depending on this stuff for years. You know, I've built everything saying that this is going to be there.
Okay. Her kids are literally all her emotions. Yeah. Fuck. You know, she probably has never like shed a tear. Even probably the last time she shed a fucking tear, aside from being in private, is probably when I forgot what his name was, but we're gonna call him Abuelo. Abuelo passed. Yeah. You know, and like wow. Yeah. She couldn't go back to meet her trauma because she was so busy being strong for the family. That's what she spent her time doing. She spent her time
closing herself off from the world, closing herself off from her trauma so she can be the strong one that everyone else was looking up to.
Thinking and not noticing that she's causing so much shit and not noticing, you know, everything that she's doing.
Exactly. She thought that she was doing the best that she could at the time for her family. Does that give her the ability and the wherewithal to be an A about it? No. But that's what in her mind was the best. Her thing was like,
tough it up. I toughed it up. I lost abuelo. Yeah. Right? It's like kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Like if I could do it, y'all bitches can do it.
Exactly. You know?
Wow.
And she didn't think about them and the trauma that they're going through because, you know, she's gone through trauma. She's learned to close it off.
Because she's closed it off and she doesn't see it. And like she has her eye on the prize. And the prize is the family image. And it's just like, you know, like we're not going to show like any emotion or be vulnerable because she couldn't be vulnerable.
Correct.
She couldn't. She had to...
She had to take it together, raise them kids, grow them up, and keep everything together and held together because she was the only one who could. Nobody else was going to be there for her to lean on. Mm-hmm. No one else is there going to be there to go ahead and deal with the magic. No one else is going to be there for her. She had no choice but to go ahead and be the way that she was.
Yeah.
Now, did she have to treat everyone else like that? I feel she didn't, but I feel that she forgot about trauma. She spent her entire life trying to forget about trauma, and she wasn't going to start thinking about other people's trauma.
Yeah, not only other people's trauma, but other people's feelings. Because, you know, think about it. Like, when she went through that, who was there?
Nobody.
She had herself, and that's it. And probably the candle.
That's all she had.
And then, you know, maybe, like, Abuela was, like, her best friend. And, you know, like, she sits there and she's talking to him with the candle right there.
Correct. You know, one thing I appreciate about that movie is that, you know, Abuela and the rest of the family, you know, spent a lot of time trying to hold on to the candle. Yeah. And holding on to the candle is like, you know, we depend on magic in order for us to be able to be something.
Yes,
you know, even it got so bad that every member, including Maribel herself, had that notion.
Oop, the pizza fell, sorry.
Had that notion.
Yeah.
That they had to hold on to this because that's the only thing that defines. Yeah. You know, and by the end of the movie, when it blew out, they never tried to resurrect the candle. Yeah. The candle never resurrected. It realized...
Well, because their fucking house just crumbled.
Yeah, they realized that it was them that was the thing that was holding it together, not the fact of the magic that was holding everything together. Yeah. You know, like it's not the gifts that you have. It's you. You have to make sure that you're caring.
It's not only you. It's like your family too.
Yeah.
You know,
you have to care about the family, not the stuff that they have. You know, or what they're gonna give to you. You know, you have to care about the people.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah, that's what's important, and that's what everyone learned. Now, Abuela at the end, and this is where, like, you know...
It rubs me the wrong way, because, boy, would it be nice if that was, like, in real life, that we can just, you know, sit at a... Where was it? At the river, and watch a butterfly come in, and then me embrace Abuela. Like, man...
I think they had to wrap that crap up quick, and that's why they did it.
It's like trauma, boom, it's healed.
like literally that movie probably went on for a lot longer if they had to go through the whole fact of Abuela.
Make it a novella. I like watching novellas.
Yeah, because that movie needed to be longer than it was. But in terms of like showing trauma and what it could do to people, I think that movie did a great job in showing every single bit, and not only that, but how people actually respond to it. Because you can see that every single person responded to that trauma in a different way. I'm going to do honorable mentions here for the husbands, which is Felix, and I forgot the other person's name.
Creason, don't do that to me. What's his name?
I'm going to see if I can remember it.
Mateo. No. Damn it.
See, my brain's going Antonio, but it's not.
It's not Antonio. There's Pepa and Felix, and then fuck me, dude. Look what you did. Okay, hold on, guys. I know I can get out of here. This is live shit, bro. Okay, Julieta's husband in Encanto, Agustin.
Yeah, that's correct. That's right. All right, so Agustin, yeah. So, Honorable mentions for them. They're both supportive, believe it or not.
Yes.
But they are. Like, you know, Agustin, like, kind of like Julieta, is very reserved.
He's very clumsy.
He's reserved. He's clumsy, too.
But also, like, I think when Mirabel dipped, wasn't he, like, consoling?
Yeah, he was consoling Julieta. He was also helping look for her. But there's two types of support. Felix is the more straightforward support.
Yeah.
Of like, he's the one who would speak out and support. And Agustin is the reserved support of where he doesn't say anything out loud, but he does try to give advice under the covers. So there's two types of support. I think that both types of support
are amazing,
have their place. Yeah. You know, because sometimes you want the Felix who will just go out and say exactly what's being done at the moment. And other times you don't. You want the person that's going to, like, you know, keep cool when tensions are high, and at the end of the day, come back to you and be like, you know, this is what you should do. This is how you should do it. Blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. You know, I fall more in the Agustin sort of things. If tensions are really high, you know, I will not go ahead and, like, try to blow things up.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's people like Felix who, at the moment, want to just jump on stuff, get there and be like, hey,
that's me.
You know,
that's so funny.
This
that's
situation
me.
needs to go ahead and be dealt with and be taken
that's
down
literally
right
me.
now. You know? So yeah, in terms of like everything, I think that kind of covers like all of it. But Encanto is a very deep movie that goes over trauma in a way that I haven't seen any movie up to this point go over trauma.
So to end this, and then after we'll do the card polls, I just want to speak on like what is like your happy ending. I'll do mine and then you can like, you know, think about like yours, because I don't like the way that they did that. Because, you know, in my case, I just feel like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and, you know, like, my whole thing isn't to cuss you out, because under all those fuck yous, there is just like someone that like really wants to be, just want a happy family, and I want you to recognize what you've done to me, and I want you to tell me what I've done to you, and then like we can sit here and we can, you know, talk. Like I'm a very like sit down, let's talk about it person, you know, let's not sweep things under the rug. But just like, you know, everyone getting together and everyone giving a shit about their fucking feelings. That's the happy ending to me. Everyone being like, okay, from now on, like, what can I do? And then, you know, even because I feel like that's like in another fucking reality, right? In a perfect world that's not here. But like being able to express your feelings without being judged. And then, you know, going on, and, you know, both of you guys, like, on both ends, like, you know, let each other know, look, this is it. And, you know, like, you've caused me so much hurt. You caused me so much pain. Like, just because they're family does not mean that you need to keep them in your life. Like, sometimes you need to cut ties with family, because you got someone that's healing and then you got another person that's not. And if they can't sit here and recognize what they're doing and the wronging that they're doing, I feel like that's when a boundary needs to be set. And you need to be like, okay, tell me, like, what or how you want to deal with this, and then I will go on and figure out whether I want you in my life or not, whether I'm gonna love you in like what is it with the long spoon? You know, love from a distance, because honey, I can love from a distance and I can cut a bitch off real quick. Like, you know, but that's my happy ending. What's yours?
Well, I mean, given the short thought, like, you know, I wish that they took the movie a bit more than they were supposed to go in and take the movie.
More pizzas falling.
You know, and they went ahead and they, like, told you.
You were not happy with the happy ending.
Well, I was.
With their ending.
Well, yeah, because, like, they didn't show, like, what happened to Mirabel. They didn't show whether she got her own room. They didn't show, like, any.
The house is her room.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because like, you know, she basically single-handedly she fixed that whole family in one shot. You know, and she did all the work, and it sucks that, like, the only thing she got from it is that, you know,
a hug.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, the family did go ahead and say that they see how she is, but, you know, you didn't get any physical show of that.
Yeah.
You know.
So what's your happy ending?
Well, my happy ending would be, like, you know, them showing,
No. Your happy ending.
Oh, you mean in terms of my own family?
Yes.
Being understood. Quite honestly, like, I want to be able to do what, like, I want without getting
Being
judged for it. And that's the hardest thing in my case to do. I think that when it comes down to it, like, I do a lot of work, I put a lot of things out there, but the moment I try to do things that I want to do, it's like, people start saying, like, well, it's affecting me, like, why are you going and doing all this? Like, it's my time. But, like, for me, I'm getting really, really, like, tired of, like, that. I just want to be understood. So that's literally my happy ending.
So is it, like, understood, like, how kind of, like, how I am? Like, okay, like, let's talk. Like, what have I done to you? How have I hurt you? And, like, I'm going to tell you how you hurt me, and really take that and sit with it for a week or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You and I, like, even though, like, we're kind of opposite, we can kind of relate.
Yeah.
All right. That's it on your happy ending?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Now we're going to get into the card pulls. That was fucking long, but we finally got done with the Encanto. This is a part 2. Where are my cards?
Yeah, that's a
that's a really good question. I was doing I'm a dumbass. Okay, so pick one. I was doing a freaking mediumship reading, and it was very successful.
Yeah.
It was very successful. Wow, amazing how I don't fucking believe in myself. But which one did you want?
We could try to do like a laugh cry, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's literally what I've been doing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. I see you. We're gonna start off with Creaseland, and then I have my. Where's my... Okay, yeah, it's right there. Sorry. This is all live, too. We normally never do this, but... Alright. We're going to do crease in. What's your laugh?
Yeah,
Shoot! This is what happens when you do card pulls in a car. Alright, now I'm going to open the door. You guys are going to hear a bunch of, like... shenanigans. Hold on. Oh, dang it. Cynthia. Cousin Dolores can hear a pin drop. Got me a little shit. Antonio gets his gift today. Alright, so again, sorry. Not sorry. Alright, someone parked the car. That's weird. Okay.
Well, that's what we do.
I know, but... Okay, so... Creasing your laugh, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm using my Disney deck. I prefer to use this, like, on TikTok. But, Okay, so this is your laugh. What to laugh about? The moon.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me if I burped. Ooh, and this is to cry?
Alright.
So, we got the moon. Alright, you want to read this one?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to read from the book.
Alright, so Yzma serves as long-standing advisor to Empire Cusco.
Uh-huh.
But when she is unceremoniously ousted from her position, she schemes to take his place as ruler of the kingdom. The moon represents hidden agendas, betrayal, and secrets, and it warns that there is more going on than meets the eye.
I think I know what that's talking about. Something to laugh about. People trying to, like, fuck with you.
Oh, God.
You know? People trying to fuck with you, and, like, you get so uptight.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
You are so uptight, and you get so, like, serious, and, like, in all reality, like, don't stress so much and just laugh it the fuck off, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
That
is true. I really gotta laugh more at stuff and stop, like, taking everything so seriously.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, the next card, you're gonna hear my son. We're almost done, Beshi. The next card is the Knight
of Cups.
The Knight of Cups is in reverse. Okay.
So, just as Gaston broods and schemes when his marriage proposal is rejected by Belle, The reverse Knights of Cups represents possessiveness, jealousy, and immaturity. This tarot card reminds you that setbacks and rejection are inevitable parts of life. Sometimes it's best to accept them and move on.
I think I know what that's talking
I know,
about.
seriously, dude. It's my current situation at this current time. I don't have really much to reflect on without going deep into like exactly what's going on in my life, but there is a situation that's going on that, like, you know, I've been dealing with for a while, and I've had a hard time laughing, and I've also had a hard time crying about it.
Well, you don't cry about it. That's the thing. And I don't know, like, what it is that we're going to have to do to, like, make you feel emotion. Because do you even feel emotion? Because I feel like you're the king of suppressors.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but those are your cards. Do you want to talk more?
No, I think that it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. All right, so now it's time for my tarot cards, like laugh and cry. And the laugh card that I got is the World. And, you know, this is upright. You're at the end of a long, arduous journey. And success is at hand. Savor the moment by reflecting on everything it took for you to get here. You've worked really hard and are finally achieving your long-term goals. Pause to enjoy your success before stepping into the next phase of life. The world calls for celebration. That is so funny because I do like to like reflect, and I do like to look back and like, you know, how I get over things. I have a really dark sense of humor and I like to poke fun at, like, you know, some things, and I sit here and I make fun of myself, and, you know, it's my way of like getting over things, and I do like to laugh about it. And I'm glad that, you know, Creason can, you know, come along and laugh with me and poke fun at me, and my husband does too, and, you know, we'll three-way call and poke at each other, and that's I love it. But I like that card. Now, the Five of Cups is upright, and I'm gonna read from the book, like, you know, if I can find it. Okay, so the Five of Cups means, you know, plans have been foiled. Disappointments can be demoralizing, but rather than ruminating on things that can't be changed, the Five of Cups advises you to accept the circumstances as they are and move on. There are other opportunities waiting for you. I think I know exactly what this is. It's so funny because, like, I'm already doing it. Yeah. And, like, you know, I feel like, you know, the need to cry, and then, like, you know, I'll sit here and, like, I'll find a moment to, you know, like, put the mask down, and then, like, I'll, like, you know, go on and, like, cry and stuff. But there's been a lot of it, and quite honestly, Creason, like, I'm getting really tired of it. I'm getting tired of myself. And, you know, shout out to you and, like, you know, to Trey that sit here and, like, listen to me fucking, like, cry and laugh in the same, you know. But that's amazing. Thank you, guys. I am going to, you know, I'm gonna move over it. I've made my decisions. I have my ducks in a row, and things are, you know, they're gonna turn out great. And I'm very happy with how things are going right now. And yeah, I have my goals and I'm achieving them. I've manifested everything, you know. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to me rant and rave, and listening to Creason speak facts with his psychology ass. Thank you guys so much for listening in. Whenever we get to the end, I get really like, no, but so yeah, again, go on and follow us on TikTok. It is Random Spirit Podcast. Instagram is Random Spirit 28. And then you can find us on Apple, Google Podcast, Spotify, and Anchor. All of them are Random Spirit. Correct. Any last thoughts?
No, just always remember to love yourself, guys, and until next time,
bye.